Hello folks, Fuzzfinger here, thank you for joining me, and we'll continue on with our walkthrough. So now Yaschas Massif is on the Historia Crux, 10 AF, if you want to visit there next, and we'll crack on with the story.
Machines once run by the Foul Sea are now powered by human technology. Driving the progress is the Academy, which has grown to take a leading role in affairs of state. Under its young leader, the Academy is working to solve the paradoxes that warp the surrounding space-time. At the heart of the distortions is the Yashas Massif, its skies darkened by a perpetual eclipse.
People always say, the future will be better. They believe the hardships of the present fade with the passage of time. And so we hope, waiting for a future brighter than today. But Sarah, remember this. As you walk towards a brighter tomorrow, you have to look back to your past. The path you have walked to reach the here and now will give you the courage you need to hope. It's so dark.
In ancient times, the Foul Sea devoured the light, darkness cloaked the sky, and the earth knew only night. This must be the eclipse.
You know what this is?
They said 500 years ago, a massive Foul Sea appeared. For a while, it blotted out the sun and turned everything dark.
If that happened 500 years in your past, then this must be 200 years in my future.
Right. But something's wrong. Look, the eclipse is only affecting this small area. That shouldn't be possible.
Okay, so you're saying this could be a paradox?
That's what I'm saying.
Huh. This reminds me of stories we heard.
When you've taken control again of your party, just head forward and speak to the researcher up ahead.
What happened?
No one's been able to figure that out.
Hello, are you here to observe the facility? I can answer any questions you might have.
Ah, yeah, perfect. I do have some questions. Where are we? And what year is it?
Wait, you can't just...
What? I'm just...
Yashas Massif, 10 AF, sir.
10 AF? So nowhere near 200 years.
I must say, this is the first time anyone asked me what year it was. I don't suppose you happen to be time travelers?
Well...
Ah, yes, I almost forgot. I'm supposed to hand out this map. Take it, it's free.
Great, so now we've got another map. It's a dead end up here. There's going to be lots of barriers around this zone, which you won't be able to pass through. So just follow it round the only way we can go, for the time being. And loot the chests as we go. I'm just going to pop down these steps to see if there's any chests. And it looks like you don't have to come down here for now. So we'll head back up. There's a chest up there which you can access with your Moogle throw. And another barrier over there which we can't pass.
There's no need for panic. It's our job as scientists to figure out what's behind this mystery.
So we'll just keep heading north. It gets interesting, you know, in it, because it starts to get really dark, and as it's going to explain to us, the enemies are a lot more ferocious when it's dark. They're faster on the mod clock, and you get stronger enemies like the Behemoth. When you enter the light after an enemy is spawned, the mod clock resets back into green, so you can try and escape if you want. We do want to try and kill one Behemoth at least, since we'll need a drop from it called the Behemoth Fang for a future quest, and we may as well pick it up now while we're here. So long as you've got a level 20 Sentinel Pulse Work Knight in your party and you start in Delta Attack, then it should be fine to kill him. And also there are a few treasure chests scattered around the outside of this dark place. If you do use your Moogle throw to get them, just keep your party member, your leader, still so that you don't enter combat while Mog's not with you. So we've got a Behemoth here. Make sure you get a preemptive strike or you'll just probably get one shot. It's better off if you have Delta Attack as your starting paradigm. I had to switch and that meant Noel and Sarah took quite a bit of damage while I switched from Relentless Assault. But basically now you're in Delta Attack, just pummel away at him. You just want to get his chain bonus as high as possible. And use potions to heal. Don't try and switch to a healer monster, because the Behemoth attacks quite quickly and is very ferocious. If you get rid of your Sentinel, it's likely you'll be killed. So just try and keep all focus from the Behemoth on the Sentinel. Switch party members if you need to bring the other party member away to ranged, so that you don't get caught in the Behemoth attacks. To get the party member into range, just use ranged abilities and now start moving backwards. Occasionally though, no matter what you do, the Behemoth is just going to ignore your Sentinel attacker he wants, which is very frustrating, but just try and keep your health up on all your characters, so that when he does that you're not going to die unprepared. If you haven't been following this walkthrough, or you don't have a decently levelled Pulse Knight Sentinel, then you'll just want to run away from the Behemoths for now. As you can see, I've got a maxed one out, and even I'm struggling a little bit. They also drop 300 CP, which can be quite useful, especially since they're a common mob, so common enemy in the dark. If you do have the ability to kill them easily, then you might want to farm for a little bit of CP. We're actually aiming for about 7,500 by the end of this zone to have, so that we can level up our Crystarium again. So again, if you use Mog to reach these treasure chests, just keep your party members still so that you don't encounter any enemies. Because if you do encounter a Behemoth and you don't have Mog with you, you're likely to enter combat without a preemptive strike and with the retry option locked, which means that you're going to be killed and then have to reload your save game again. On the way up north there are a couple of treasures that we do want to get for some side quests later, so I'll point them out as I collect them, and then you can just see where I am and get them yourselves. So we need this one over here. That will be for a side quest that we pick up later, and when we do, we'll already have the item now to hand it straight in. And we just need to head over to Chocolina. And there's a couple of items up in the air we can reach with our Moogle throw. one of which is actually quite tricky, unfortunately. Just over here, to the left of this treasure chest, which I've just opened as well. Just throw Mog. It's off camera, so you can't really see it, but it's another item for a side quest for later. There we go, the fruit of friend. Really.
Once you get used to it, life on Pulse isn't bad.
Before we move on, I'm just going to spend some of the monster materials I've got and strengthen up some of my team, my monster team. Especially my Ravager, the Albino Lord, because he's a nice powerful monster. And now I'm just going to save my game, and then we need to continue on heading up north again. Well, it's more east now. East then north. Some of the treasure chests can be hard to see. That Scar's gate seal is actually quite useful. I'll explain the gate seals at a later date, but in a nutshell, they allow you to close what you've opened. Each one allows you to close a certain zone that you've opened on the Historia Crux, so that you can do that part of the story again. For instance, the ruins that we've just finished with, where we weakened Atlas. Once we've strengthened our party and they're really high level, we can close that gate, do the story again, only this time don't weaken Atlas, and when we kill him at his full strength we get another, we get a paradox ending. So, they are useful. Speak to this person here at the waypoint. And this will spawn another boss for us. Quite a tough boss, but with two strategies, the risky strategy and the not so risky strategy. The risky strategy is you going relentless assault at the start of the fight, and presuming you've got the dog, the Albino Lord, and he's been levelled up a little bit, and that you've spent a few points in your Crystarium on Noel and Sarah, you should be able to burn through him by the end of the first stagger in relentless assault. If you're not quite powerful enough to do that, then go the whole Delta attack way to keep your Sentinel out, and then heal with potions and Kate Sith when needed. I don't quite get him at the end of the first stagger because I mess around a bit too much, but it is possible to do. It does hit hard when you don't have a Sentinel out, so bear that in mind. And unfortunately I don't think I have any potions, which is why I'm having to use Kate Sith. But the boss isn't too hard, just keep an eye on your health, don't let it fall below 40%, and just keep hammering away at him and he'll go down. So yes, I was cutting that fairly close, as you can see. But he's dead, so that's the main thing. And we get another fragment now for that. And a nice batch of CP. Remember, we're aiming for about 7,500 by the end of this this zone. So we should be well on our way after this fight to get in there.
When monsters like these are cornered, they cause a space-time vortex to appear. An electromagnetic shock usually shuts them down. It's been a while, Sarah.
Hope? Is that you?
I'm grateful you remember me.
Who's this?
Oh,
Director of Academy Research, Team Alpha. Hope Estheim at your service. And you must be Noel.
Nice guess. Who told you?
You appeared here with Sarah some years ago at the Brescia ruins. Subsequently, we analyzed the gate and forecast your reappearance at this location. To be honest, I didn't really believe that time travel was possible. But here you are. I'm really glad you're safe. For me, it's as if time has stopped. Everyone I knew is gone.
Hope.
From your point of view, it's been years since you last saw Sarah.
Not just Sarah. Snow as well. And Saz and his boy. You all disappeared from my life. It's been 10 years now.
I never thought...
When the paradox occurred some years ago, I thought if I could solve it, maybe you would all come back.
Director, help! There you are! What were you thinking? Taking off and leaving me all on my own. It was a shock seeing Hope grown older than me, but he was still the same Hope I knew. Lightning, Hope listened to my story without saying a word. I told him about how I'm the only one who remembers your smile on the plane of Grand Pulse. I told him about how Snow set out to try and save you and Vanille and Fang. And I told him about Noel. Noel from the future.
There's something I want to show you both. We can continue our conversation as we walk.
I'll show the way.
Shall we?
Tell me, Hope, what made you join the Academy?
Okay, so now we're in control again and we just need to follow Hope and Elisa.
Fang, Lightning, they turned to Crystal so that we might live. It was an enormous sacrifice.
My sister and
When we get to the top of the stairs,
I think they wanted
speak to both
preserve
of them,
life.
Elisa and Hope, and then
Gave
speak
us
to
a
the guard.
chance to live again.
How long has it been? 5 years? You two haven't changed at all.
I hope not. And here we are, meeting in ruins again.
Ruins are places where memories gather like dust. So many layers of time. Probably the easiest place for a paradox to occur.
They put the future in our hands. We're in a position to build a society based on human technology. No longer subject to the whim of the FalC. That's the gift we've been given.
Guests of yours, Director? Watch your step in there.
Thank you.
Isn't the Academy a research institute? Why do you need so many soldiers?
Without the FalC around, we have to be able to protect
And now we're
ourselves.
following Hope once again.
That means guns.
The time distortions spawn hostile creatures. Until we can resolve the
Just as we get up
paradox,
here, there's a
we need
treasure
to
chest,
force
which we can grab.
These armed patrols are essential for our safety.
There's one on the opposite side as well, but we'll grab that in a few minutes. Once we've finished with Hope.
I need to find...
It's hard
No, we just need to keep speaking to him to advance the story.
So much time has passed.
I wonder how Saz and little Dodge are doing.
We've been out of touch. Saz took Dodge to live on Grand Pulse, and he was flying airships the last I heard. Then suddenly they both disappeared. I searched everywhere but never found them.
Look at us. All gone our separate ways.
Yes. And I can't tell you how much it means to have you here now. Saz and Snow may have set off on different paths, but I've started to think that, in the end, we're all headed towards the same goal. I'm glad to see you're doing well, Sarah.
This is some kind of ancient city, right?
The city of Padra, or so we believe. It was the center of a great kingdom built by a nation known as the Farseers.
The Farseers? You're telling me there used to be enough of them to build this entire town?
According to our research, we believe they constituted an entire nation. A polity that was ruled by a Cirrus.
Can you see me now? Standing here in this place?
So this nation, Padra? Their leader was a Cirrus.
And we need to follow Hope one last time up these stairs.
The Cirrus would read the fates, see the future, and guide her.
And then speak to him when we get to the top.
I can't comprehend how people used to live here.
This place is off limits to the public. Even authorized personnel need a permit for access.
Here.
Thanks.
You've traveled through time. I suppose it's not surprising you know about these things. The power to rule was passed down from one Cirrus to the next. She was always called Yule.
If they could read time, why did they die out? Surely they could see the danger coming and do something to avoid it.
No, they were destroyed because they could see the future.
Why?
The Cirrus Yule foresaw the future destruction of this city. Some citizens wanted to try to avert the disaster. Others felt that they should simply abandon their homes and run. A few fell into despair and took their own lives. The divided populace clashed. The nation was torn apart by civil war.
Being able to see the future is awfully dangerous. It can mess with people's heads.
Tell me about it. The nation fell apart, and the survivors fled into the wildlands, avoiding contact with others.
Huh. So you know the story.
Oh! Come on, Director Hope! I want to show them! It's okay to show them, isn't it?
This way. Here. This is what lies at the heart of our paradox. The Oracle Drive. We've been giving it careful study.
But how did you...
Wait. You know of these devices?
Oh, well, yeah. I've heard of them. In books and stuff.
The Oracle Drive appears to be some kind of recording apparatus from ancient times. We've excavated a number of the devices. However, the recordings depict things that cannot be possible. Perhaps you should see for yourselves.
This is how it works.
device was excavated from an ancient part of the ruins. We used carbon dating methods to determine age. The device and the recording stored within are several centuries old.
But it shows lightning.
Someone in the past recorded this vision of the future. Perhaps it was the seeress Yule herself. What we're concerned about, however, is this. You'll have to excuse the image quality. Yes, I think so. We need to conduct further analysis to be certain.
Is it broken?
No. We've tested both device and data, and everything is nominal. Yet, when we try to view the recording, we get this. Perhaps it's not the recording that's broken. It's the immediate space-time in which we are located.
You mean it could be the paradox? Because the surrounding space-time is twisted, that might be directly affecting the device. So, if the paradox is eliminated, space-time will return to normal. Then we could see the prophecy and find out where my sister is.
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Here.
An artifact.
This object serves as a key, is that right? We try to make it work ourselves, but with no success.
Yeah, we can use that to travel across time.
Then you may have it. I think it'll be far more useful to you than us. Here.
During the years that passed as we traveled outside time and space, Hope had devoted himself to his research, trying to unlock the mystery of the paradox. If the gates are the cause of the puzzle, they might also be the key to unlocking it. But I wonder, am I getting closer? Will I find lightning in the end?
Time to find that gate.
It was in the ruins.
Okay, so now we've got the hollow artifacts from Hope, which means we can unlock the next gate. There's nothing to see around here. I was just seeing there's only hidden chests, but I couldn't see any.
I think I'm a bit jealous of you, Sarah. You can travel to the past or the future, and if you find somewhere...
Huh. I've never thought of it like that.
What?
You understand why I wanted to show you the Oracle Drive?
I think I do. You've been looking...
Yes. It's not much of a clue, but I wanted you to see how far we've come.
I wonder what kind of person the Cirrus was. What does she have to do with lightning?
We're still not in a position to say. All we know is that each successive generation of Cirrus went by the name Yule. Anything else is pure conjecture.
What happened to her after the city was
She either shared the city's fate, or left for good. In any case, her end...
Now, just before we head to the next gate, to unlock, there's a few things we need to do here. A couple of people we need to speak to, not this guy though. The person down here at the bottom will have a quest for us, which we can't do just yet, but we might as well pick it up while we're here.
What I really want to get my hands on is the battery used for one of the older models, like the kind they used on Cocoon. It wasn't a very popular model, so the parts are scarce. I saw it in a store window once. I got excited and ran in, but it turned out that the item had already been bought.
Yes, we'll accept that mission.
Help me try and find the battery? It might be an impossible task. I already called every store in the book with no luck. But if you say you can get your hands on it, I'll believe you. Thanks for doing this. You want to know what I'll be using it for? I'm a collector. I want to get...
Time travelers? Really?
Now there's a chest we need to just go and grab that I mentioned earlier. Use your Moogle reveal thingy so that you can loot it. And now if you head on back from where we originally came from, there's another person we need to speak to down the bottom of the ramp. Before we go to them though, I'm just going to double check there's nothing hiding behind here, which there doesn't appear to be. So that person with the speech bubble has a quest for us, which again we can't complete here. We'll have to wait till we're in another time zone, which we'll do later. Another time zone? I mean another time period.
It's now lying at the bottom of the valley. It scares me to think that could have been me. I still miss that watch. It was an expensive one that had to be modified to withstand all the wear and tear of the outdoors. What a waste. You'll look for my watch? Are you sure? Believe me, I've tried but have had zero luck. With the eclipse keeping everything in the dark, it's almost impossible to see anything around here. I doubt it's the best time to go searching.
Now there is actually an easy to get fragment from around here. Make sure you loot the Serenity statue there. Just head up the ramp around the side here. There's a couple of chests to get on the way up as well. And just follow it all the way to the top. And at this giant head, use your Moogle reveal. And when the square chest appears, you can throw a Mog and collect a fragment. There's one more chest to collect from up here. And now we can head back into the wild towards the gate, which will have appeared as a waypoint on your map. Before we go through that gate, just make sure you have got the 7,500 CP that we need to level up the Crystarium. So I'm just going to do a little bit of farming before we get there and I'll edit it out. It's not actually a long walk to the gate.
Creatures that appear due to the paradox are foreign indeed. It's like the laws of physics don't even apply to them.
So that means they're...
Whatever the case, it's all conjecture.
Are the pulse fal'Cie still active?
I just got a call from the director. You guys get a free pass, but remember to be careful.
So this area was blocked before with the barriers, but now it's open. Just head all the way down to the bottom. And there's the gate we can activate. Before we do though, we're just going to take a quick visit to the Crystarium and spend some points. So then for Sarah, I'm going to be putting 6 points into Ravager, 7 points into Saboteur, and 7 points into Medic. So Ravager will be taken to 29, Saboteur will be taken to 18, and Medic will be taken to level 8. And for the roll bonus, I'm going to go for the Saboteur bonus boost. Now we'll move on to Noel. And for Noel, I'm going to give him 9 points in his Commando roll to level it to 32, 4 points to his Ravager roll to level that to 30, and 7 points in the Medic roll to level it to 8. So level 32 for Commando, level 30 for Ravager, and level 8 for Medic, and leave the other two as they are for now. And for his bonus, we're going to give him the useful Commando bonus boost. And that's the Crystarium finish for the time being. So when you're ready, use the hollow artifact that Hope gave us at the gate, and that will unlock the next area.
Here, this must be the gate Hope was talking about.
Maybe. Yeah? What?
There's something on your mind.
Yeah, well, sure, but it's just personal stuff.
It's the Moogle. He really bothers you, huh?
Is it that obvious? I look at his strange little face and I can't help but worry. I mean, what now?
His face isn't strange, it's totally cute.
Totally cute? I'd go for unique. Huh?
You shouldn't make fun of me, Kupo.
Something had been bothering Noel, and it had been ever since we heard the story about the Padra Cirrus Yule. But, of course, he wasn't the only one who was troubled. Was it really lightning I saw in the flickering images of the prophecy? The only way to find out is to go through this portal and solve the paradox.
And that'll be the end of this part of the walkthrough. So thank you very much for joining me. I've been FuzzFinger, and I'll see you next time.